welcome. We've missed a bit.
We
A
have.
lot has happened.
Yeah, I've been too busy.
A lot has happened. The Rock has taken a year and a half to make all his promos in the meantime.
Yep.
Yes. Seth started a Diarrhea Dwayne chant.
Yep. KSI got an RKO.
Sammy started building up some momentum. We'll get into all that in a bit. But first of all, we will start with... Let's start in the previous week's Raw with Seth dressed as a highlighter that says, me and you, I'm going to SmackDown. Are you coming with me? And Cody says, yeah, we're going to SmackDown.
Yep.
And later on that day, it was Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. And once again, near the end of that match, Jimmy shows up and once again decides to beat up his brother.
Again.
In front of everyone.
Yep.
And he gets helped out. First of all, Solo shows up, and then Cody, as he said, he's hunting the bloodline, goes up and says, bam, Solo, you're losing another match. This is not even a match, but you're losing it. And then Jimmy shows up, and then Seth runs past Drew McIntyre, of all people, to beat up Jimmy. But Drew wasn't having that. Drew then instantly claymored them after that. He was like, you should be focused on me, not them. What are you doing? And that leads us into SmackDown, where Logan started the show, surprisingly, not The Rock for once.
Yeah.
It was good old Logan that revealed a very controversial thing. Now, this is controversial to most hardcore wrestling fans. In-ring sponsorships. Only for pay-per-views now. We're still getting the normal ring at SmackDown and Raw. But pay-per-views are going to have the Prime logo in them, starting with WrestleMania.
It's not really a surprise because obviously there's the obvious link with Logan, and then also they sponsor
the Monster sponsored the Octagon in the middle. There was always the Monster logo.
Yeah, but obviously Prime also sponsor the other company. Related with WWE, UFC, and WWE's both owned by the same company now. So.
And like I said, with UFC, they've always had the Monster logo in the middle of the Octagon. So it makes sense that they would open. It's one of those changes from the Vince McMahon era because Vince was always protective of the ring and didn't want anything in the ring. He was fine with everything around the ring, but not in it. And this is the biggest change with him now being completely axed from his own company.
Yeah.
Well, KSI came out to a big cheer from the crowd, but Logan and KSI might have forgotten that they kind of pissed off. Logan kind of pissed off a Viper recently. And he was slithering in, his music hit. No one knew where he was, and then he slithered in from under the ring. He was waiting.
Yeah, and then...
Probably took a nap there, you know?
KSI turned his back to...
Logan instantly ran away, leaving poor KSI... wondering, why are you over there suddenly, Logan? And then he took an RKO right to the right, and then Randy added insult to injury by dragging him over the Prime bottle and then pouring Prime on his pants to make him look like he wet himself.
At least he said the Prime was nice.
Exactly. Tried a bit, then asked KSI if he wanted some, and then poured it on his crotch.
So I expect a bit of KSI interference at WrestleMania.
KSI then tweeted out, why does he always get beaten up every time he shows up to wrestle? It's a question he needs to ask himself.
A very similar picture of him on a gurney.
Yeah, and then Randy teamed up with Kevin Owens to beat up Grayson Waller and Austin Theory with a pop-up RKO.
Yeah.
Beautiful combination between the two of them.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
And then they got jumped like literally Logan Paul came out like Mario coming out of a pipe to whack the two of them in the back of the head.
That was funny.
And then Randy actually grabs the brass knuckles away from him but then almost hits KO with the brass knuckles.
Yeah.
And then says, no, my bad, we're cool. My bad. Almost friendly fire. It's fine. And Randy keeps them. And then we have a passionate promo from Bailey that says she's going to take out Damage Control one at a time, starting with Dakota Kai, as Johnno likes, as we know. Starting with that.
Don't take out Dakota Kai. She's my favourite.
And then you saw Naomi feels a bit bad for Bailey in the numbers game.
Yeah.
But Bianca's
Bianca said,
she's done this to herself. It's not.
She's not having any of it.
Like, you weren't here, Naomi. They would have attacked you too if you were here.
Indeed. Do you think she's going to? Do you think Naomi's going to get through to her?
Maybe. I think Bailey does need the backup against the others.
Yeah, I don't know who else she can really call on.
Maybe a Charlotte if she's injury free by the end, beforehand. Who knows?
Yeah, because obviously there was rumors months and months ago about Mercedes, but she's obviously made her debut this week for AEW.
You do have the other people that hate Damage Control still at SmackDown. Like I said, Charlotte being injured, but she looks like she might be back just before Mania, so you never know.
Yeah.
She's advertised for a show in March. Near the end of it.
Yeah.
Then we had AJ Styles say to LA Knight on a pre-recorded thing, "Yeah, you're gonna have a hard time looking for me, Age. I'm gonna humble you." But LA Knight wasn't having that and decided to beat up the TV he was watching it on. She really showed that TV.
That was funny.
He really showed that TV.
I saw a lot of gifs of WrestleMania, the TV versus LA Knight.
The TV's going to cost LA Knight in that match. He's going to get revenge. And then you had Dragon Lee actually win a match on the main roster again.
Yep.
Against the stooge of the Legado del Fantasma. But then he got jumped for it because Rey Mysterio was not there that week.
Yeah.
And then we had the big one, about 21 minutes of The Rock and Roman talking to Cody and Seth.
Yep. And
it's only 21 minutes because The Rock has to say, "Let me tell you here, Cody, it's bloodline rules. So The Rock's going to come up. He's going to get a belt. And he's going to walk up to you with said belt." He talks very slow. Repeats himself like every time. Bloodline rules.
And then
Seth says, "Shut the hell up. I accept. We know the stakes."
Yeah, he accepts it for Cody. Cody didn't even have to say. He just accepted it.
Because Seth wasn't listening to another 20 minutes of The Rock saying, "Listen here, this is how it's going to go." And Roman is surprised, saying, "You're going to let this man speak for you." There's a bit of mind games. Like, Roman said, "You're going to let Seth answer for you." But then before that, Cody says, does Rock even have the authority when you're the tribal chief?
Where do you feel on this relationship between Seth and Cody? Do you think it's manageable?
I think it is. We'll get into that on Raw. It's what Michael Cole asked Cody is, how the hell can you trust Seth Rollins after everything they feuded with like many times. And he brought up an interesting point that the last person to actually beat Roman Reigns was Seth by countout.
Yeah.
By DQ, I mean. But last person to actually win and never got a title opportunity.
Seth's never beaten Cody though, isn't he?
No. He's never beaten Cody. He's lost every other time. And he also has to beat Drew McIntyre on the same. Which we'll get into that. We go into Raw, and literally Drew and Seth square off, and Seth says to Drew, "You're the least of my problems. Least of my priorities." Said he's on the lowest pecking order of that.
Bloodlines first.
Which angers Drew to almost attacking Seth, but he doesn't want to because he knows that's what Seth wants. Because Seth goes, "What's under that kilt?" Suspiciously, we need the. We're like, "Whoa, Seth, PG man."
You never ask a man what's behind this kilt.
Exactly, and then we have the infamous. Oh, are they going to split the tag titles? They're going to split, and then we don't. We had a match for WrestleMania, a ladder match.
Yeah, should be good.
2 teams from SmackDown, 3 from
Judgment Day are not happy.
Well, Finn's not happy. He doesn't like ladders.
Yeah.
The last time he was in a match with a ladder was that cage match at WrestleMania with Edge, which caused him to have 14 staples in his head. He's not a fan of ladders. Or heights, according to JD McDonough. He's not a fan of heights either.
So that'll be fun.
Which I've said this to you. I think this is the perfect way to eventually split the tag titles. I think you have someone like R-Truth, who is known for being a little bit confused. Yeah. I think he grabs. I think you have Truth just to grab the red title, the Raw title.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah.
I think you could do it in a way where it doesn't make anyone look. You don't split it story-wise or just say that you're splitting it just to split it. You split it story-wise by using R-Truth's gimmick of him being a little bit confused all the time. It's the perfect way. He grabs just one set of titles of that ladder, thinking he's fully won the match, causing them to have to split the tag titles. It's the perfect solution.
Yeah.
Because you just can rub it off like, oh, it's just R-Truth being R-Truth again.
Yeah.
And then they win, but then Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis have to come out and saying, okay, the match has to continue till someone grabs the other title. You guys can go, but the match will continue with the rest of them. Yeah. It's honestly the perfect way.
I think they do need to split them. So
but I'm saying what they've done is like if R-Truth and Awesome Truth are there, it's the perfect way to set up a splitting of the titles without having to physically say, guys, we're splitting the titles tomorrow.
Yeah.
Use your asset in R-Truth that does the most dumbfounding things that just work because it's R-Truth.
Yep. The legend.
And then you had Liv Morgan versus Becky, which surprisingly was not. Becky actually won. I thought this was going to end in a DQ again.
Yeah, I think that was a really good match. I think they wouldn't want to lose any like push for Becky just before Mania.
But I'm surprised they didn't make Liv even turn heel at that point. She just was still fine.
Yeah.
Although there was a confrontation with Rhea when Rhea walked past her saying, I'm going to take everything from you. So maybe Liv tries to interfere in the actual match at WrestleMania. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's possible that she outside interference from Liv.
Yeah, that's the only match I can't call.
Yeah, because you can make an argument. Like, Rhea could easily win. But also, it's Becky Lynch. You can't ever bet against Becky Lynch fully.
I think that's literally the only match I think I can't call on the card so far.
And then afterwards, you had Nia Jax putting Becky through a table, which Becky then challenges her tomorrow to a last woman standing to finally put the bed. A caveat for that is that Becky Lynch is yet to actually beat Nia Jax.
Yeah.
In a actual TV show capacity.
Yeah, didn't they only fight not that long ago?
Yes, but that was also a disqualification by Liv.
Yeah.
Liv interrupted that, which would cause the match between Becky and Liv last week.
Yeah. Oh.
All of her matches that she's won against Nia Jax have all been disqualification.
Yeah.
Becky has not had a clean win against Nia Jax, which last woman standing, it will be until one of them can't get back up.
Yeah. I'm guessing that's got to be...
it's got to be Becky to finally just focus on Rhea. Rhea said, you're having all these matches with everyone else when you should be focusing on me because you're scared that I'm better. You're trying to prove to yourself. It should just be me. And then Becky said, when people support me, that's great, but when people doubt me, that's also great.
Yeah.
And then you had Candice LeRae being the biggest evil bully in existence. Did not need to say that to Maxine. Poor Maxine Dupree.
Yeah.
Did not need all those heartful words from Ken. Boo Candice. Our villain of the week. Candice LeRae. Being very mean. And speaking of the tag matches earlier, when confronted by the Judgment Day, And Nick Aldis and them didn't want to say anything, but then they revealed that they got the ladder match idea from R-Truth and The Miz. And they goes like, we want our Awesome Truth now. And he goes like, well, they're not here this week. They're doing media. But then R-Truth walks in the door and goes like, what are you doing here? You're supposed to do media. He's like, oh, that's on Monday. It is Monday, R-Truth. Like, oh, so that's why Miz is not here.
He's an idiot.
And then he says, book the match. And then Adam Pearce books the match. And R-Truth actually brings out the rapping intro again with his WhatsApp. There's the mic again. Flashback R-Truth. But sadly, once again, Damian Priest wins that one because R-Truth can't have nice things. And then we have main event Jey Uso just coming out just to speak to his brother.
Yeah, challenging his brother.
Issue of the challenge. Uso versus Uso. He also says me versus me. So he's calling Jimmy himself.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania.
Yeet versus no yeet.
Where he can finally put his brother to rest from his life. He's like, he even says like, I tried to get away from the bloodline I came to Monday Night Raw to get a fresh start. I said I came to Monday Night Raw to get a fresh start, but the bloodline won't let me go. Jimmy won't let me go.
Indeed.
And then you had a really good gauntlet match. It was actually a really good gauntlet match. Had some good things. It came down to the two people everyone expected, Gable versus Sammy.
It
was
pretty much Sammy. You wanted Gable.
Pretty much that was what we thought was going to be the last two in the gauntlet anyway. Johnno was going to be them too.
Yeah.
Sammy won it because he's the bigger name.
Mm.
He is the bigger name, and that's going to be an impressive match between the two of them. But I stand by the WWE has done Sammy dirty by giving a lot of storyline and vignettes to Chad Gable leading up to that.
Mm. Yeah.
They got so many people on Chad Gable's side for that story to then pick Sammy as the winner. The backlash online was always going to be against Sammy.
Yeah.
Definitely. And that has disappointed Sammy because he's up there babyface, so to get all the hate online is not a good, which I feel bad for him because it will be an impressive match, no doubt.
Yeah. Do you think he can be the one?
I'm not sure he could be the one, mainly because I don't think it does much for Sammy to win the IC title again.
Yeah, he really needs a title push.
He needs a world title push. Winning the IC title for the fourth time is just not really for him.
Has he already had that title push with Roman?
Possibly, but I feel like but he's always said his story is to get the world title. Like this whole IC title was just a last minute ditch thing for Sammy. I need to be at WrestleMania. It's not really. Really. I want to. He never went into this saying I want the IC title. I need to be at WrestleMania. That was his story.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think
this very much by his own words, the IC title is meaningless. He just wanted to be at Mania.
Yeah, I think the way they'll do it, I think Gunther will retain and he'll lose his title at Bash in Berlin. And there's a lot of rumors. I reckon they'll go down the route of letting Sami Zayn win the briefcase at Money in the Bank.
Yeah. I don't know what they do with Chad Gable from here, though. They built him up. The storyline was dead for a bit, and he started losing, but then he started winning again, and he had the story came back for this run up to this gauntlet. His motivation and stuff, and then you lose.
Maybe you build that up again, and then it's Gable versus.
Possibly, because I always felt bad for Gable that his 3 times he had to face Gunther were all on Monday Night Raws. They never gave him a pay-per-view. And that the matches that they put on were pay-per-view worthy on those Monday Night Raws. They needed a good 20-minute pay-per-view match.
The only thing I really like, I think it won't be him, is because the only person to pin him is the current NXT champion. Yeah,
but the only person to actually beat Gunther on the main roster was Chad Gable by countout.
Yeah. On the main roster, but also you have the guy who's currently NXT champion, Dragunov.
Yeah.
who I think's a shout as well, and I think he also fits in with.
I mean, if they want to get Chad Gable into the story, they have a very easy. It depends on what the WWE want. They have a very easy outage. The online thing of like Chad Gable's shoulders weren't necessarily fully on the ground, so therefore technically, it was a legal pin. So if the WWE wanted, they could very easily on Monday with the contract signing between Gunther and Sammy to shoehorn Chad Gable into it.
Yeah. I don't think they will. I
don't think this is what I'm saying. I definitely
don't think they'll have two.
I don't think
they'll have two triple threats.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I don't think that's going to happen, but I'm saying the avenue is there if they wanted to do it.
Yeah. Definitely.
But it's up to them if they do want it or not. And that was good old Monday Night Raw, and then we go to SmackDown.
Yes.
Where we had a concert for 20 minutes.
We did. He was
the Rock concert. He came back with the Hollywood Rock theme song.
So do you want to give us a sing?
He brought up Stardust, sung about Cody being a mistake.
And the Cody Crybabies, and had a Cody Crybaby on the screen.
And sung about Becky being more popular than Seth.
Yeah.
And then said he's going to make his title disappear. And then afterwards had to say Cody slapped me good, didn't he? He slapped me good. I was lost. I wanted to see what he was going to do Monday, and then he decided to cry. As we got on Monday, we saw him do a passionate interview saying he'd give the belt to Michelle Rubio. But The Rock wasn't happy of that. Yeah. Crying. So The Rock said, "Mama Rhodes, I'm talking to you, Mama Rhodes. I'm gonna get this belt, Mama Rhodes. The Rock's belt. And The Rock's gonna take The Rock's belt, Mama Rhodes, into the ring, and then he's gonna beat your son, Mama Rhodes, with The Rock's belt in that ring, because bloodline rules, Mama Rhodes. And your son's blood is gonna be on that belt, Mama Rhodes, smeared in it, in that ring.
Give you the belt.
And then Mama Rhodes, The Rock's gonna walk over to you with the belt, The Rock's belt, that he just beat Cody Rhodes with, and smother his blood in it in that ring for bloodline rules. And The Rock's going to have that belt, Mama Rhodes, The Rock's belt, covered in Cody's blood, and he's going to hand that to you, Mama Rhodes. The same belt that I just beat Cody with in that ring, and his blood's on it, Mama Rhodes.
He repeats himself a lot.
Exactly. That's why his promos take like 20 minutes, because he's just like, Mama Rhodes, I'm going to take this belt, Mama Rhodes. The same belt that I just showed you a second ago. I'm going to take that belt. Mama Rhodes. Like, no wonder Seth the previous week said, but you just shut up. But yeah, he said he was going to give that to Mama Rhodes.
How do you feel?
And he called himself the final boss. He's once again undermining Roman Reigns. He's now been on SmackDown more times than Roman Reigns has this year. He called himself the final boss. He's made the champion look like nothing.
Who do you think wins the tag match?
Personally, I think The Rock and Roman.
I think for the storyline, because I still think Cody wins the main event. Because I don't think they screwed Cody over 2 years in a row.
I think you have Roman and Rock win night one, make it bloodline rules, everything stacked up against Cody. Everything. Yeah. And that's why Cody needs the Avengers. It's like I've been calling the Avengers.
Yeah.
And the only reason you legally do the Avengers without the ref having to be knocked out again is to make it no rules. Anyone can show up.
Because you could have it, if it's bloodline rules, then obviously they could want Jimmy to come out. By that time, Jimmy might have fixed his problems with Jay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, with bloodline rules, it's essentially just a no DQ match where anything goes.
Yeah. So they might be expecting Jimmy to
And
come
they
out.
talked about it like
and
Jimmy being the
was-
special guest referee.
Yeah.
Like, The Rock even mentioned that too, but like Jimmy could be the special guest referee. Bloodline rules.
Solo's going to sing a poem or something.
He's going to sing the national anthem too.
Yeah, that was it.
But yeah, that's going to happen. I do think they're going to lose night one, probably with a bit of shenanigans.
Yeah.
That cost. Maybe it drew interference for their match the next day with the title. Is possibly what could happen there.
Yeah, I definitely think Roman will lose the title. I can't see them keeping him for another WrestleMania and screwing Cody over 2 years in a row. Because I think
Especially now since before they accepted the tag match, The Rock made it pretty clear that this will be Cody's last time he could ever go for the championship.
Yeah.
That if he loses, he's never going to get a rematch against Roman Reigns ever.
And that screws over the whole story of Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
So it doesn't make sense if he's got to win the title.
The moment The Rock said that, I'm like, oh, so he has to lose now because literally this or it. There's nothing for Cody after this.
Yeah. So I think Seth will turn on him, but after I think Cody will win, and then after Cody wins, they'll be celebrating in the ring, and Seth will turn on him.
Yeah, he might be celebrating, but he'll still be stung by the fact that Drew McIntyre is probably gonna have won his belt by then, and he's gonna be like, I wasted all the time helping you and lost my belt. And then he's gonna be like, well, now because I helped you, I'm gonna be the first challenger for your belt now. Bam.
Yeah. So he'll
set
go
that up for like SummerSlam or something, between them two.
Yeah, that's literally what I was about to say. So SummerSlam, you'll have him versus so Cody versus Seth and Roman versus,
or even Backlash. Even doing a Backlash like afterwards, they could have a Backlash match.
Yeah, or Roman, and then the other big match would be Roman versus The Rock, I think.
Yeah.
After The Rock turns on Roman.
And then you had Paul Heyman getting scared by Haley, the interviewer. She came out of nowhere and goes like, do you have an update on Jey Uso's challenge? And then Jimmy stepped in front of Paul Heyman to Paul Heyman's annoyance a bit. You saw on his face in the background, he wasn't too happy with that one. And Jimmy said, I do have an answer. I accept. He just accepts it. And then looks in the camera, says yeet for way too long. He looked in the camera for a bit too long.
He said yeet. Does that mean he knows his brother's going to win?
Possibly.
He's hinting that his brother's going to win.
I do think, I know there's debate online. I've seen people saying Jimmy Uso deserves this win more. I think Jey Uso, story-wise, needs the win more to get rid of his brother.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Jey.
Jimmy has cost Jey too many times in matches for the fact that if Jimmy wins, then you're still got I'm the bigger brother. I'm better than you always. You can't do anything without me. You'll still have that.
It defeats the complete personality of main event Jey Uso if he loses.
Because Jey Uso has been cost in the main event 3 times now by his brother.
Yeah.
That he needs to get rid of that is Jimmy from stopping him every time. Yeah. And then we finally found LA Knight outside. He's usually been backstage promos lately, but he finally talked to us. Wade Barrett was very excited, saying, he's going to finally talk to us. Come on.
Indeed.
What did he have to say? He took the mic and said, let me cook for a second. And he called out, he says, I know you're not here. You could fly all the way to Australia, but you couldn't fly to Minneapolis.
Yeah.
My God. He was like, well, I'm going to challenge you to somewhere I know you can't dare but show up, WrestleMania. Yeah. But then AJ did show up and whack him with the chair that he's been running around with all week.
Yeah, and then
he said that
he's not gonna. Then he said that he's not going to show up to any
SmackDown since because he knows LA Knight said he was going to. It's on site if he sees AJ Styles.
Yeah, so he said that he's
So,
not going to turn up, basically.
Tune in
till,
next Friday where LA Knight appears outside AJ's house at midnight, ringing the doorbell. That's what it's going to get to before WrestleMania. He's just going to show up at his house. Just chill. And then we had a segment backstage in Nick Aldis' office where Logan demands an apology from Randy Orton. And Nick Aldis says, you know what would set a great precedent? You asked for that apology yourself in person with Randy Orton. And then we go out to a match between Randy Orton and Grayson Waller.
Yeah.
The decent match. Logan as commentary. But then it ends with Randy winning, and then
Randy
Austin Theory just
destroyed him.
grabs him. And then
Randy
Logan goes
absolutely destroyed him.
And then Austin Theory grabs Randy Orton for Logan to be able to punch him. Yeah. Logan goes in for the punch, and then cue Kevin Owens. A lot of people were saying that it was only like planned for Randy versus Logan for WrestleMania, but I've always said for the past few weeks, and you know, Johnno, and this thing, that if it was just Randy Orton, Kevin, and Logan, Kevin Owens would have been out of the story by now. He's been too involved in the story to not be in the match. But they haven't ended that feud ever. So it's like the feud is still going. He's going to be in that match in some capacity.
Yeah, he wasn't very happy about that.
And then he saves the day. He picks up Randy. Randy once again almost friendly fires Kevin Owens. Instantly goes into the RKO. And Kevin's like, what the hell, man? I just saved you. I was like, my bad. Reflex. Just reflex.
Yeah.
And then Austin Theory gets stunned, beats the stunner, and then suddenly decides to randomly jump into the RKO. Just sideways.
Good idea.
Now afterwards, he claims that he was just dizzy and tried to jump out of the RKO because he expected it to happen and accidentally jumped into it. Is what he claims. He's trying to avoid the RKO. But it was funny. And then Nick Aldis comes out and goes like, Logan, I want to catch up with our meeting earlier. Did you get that apology from Randy?
Yeah. And he said, "You will be your WrestleMania partner has been decided."
First he says, I figured out your WrestleMania opponent.
That's what I was about to say. That was literally what I was saying.
Yeah,
and then he says, "You will be facing Randy Orton and Kevin Owens."
I like the way it goes like, I figured out your WrestleMania opponent. Sorry, I misspoke. Opponents.
Yeah.
And then you saw Kevin Owens' face, like, oh God, now I have to, because he's right next to Randy. He's like, oh God, now we can't be, we're having good fun being friends. Oh God. That's the face of like, oh God, now we're going to have to fight each other.
Yeah. And then,
but they both have a friendly handshake between KO and Randy Orton because they both want just Logan Paul at the moment.
Yeah. And Logan wasn't very happy.
No, because even though he did this himself he was just in a feud with only Kevin Owens, and then he decided to get Randy involved in it by punching Randy in the chamber.
Who do you think wins the triple threat?
Regardless, I think Kevin Owens takes the pin.
So
I think the reason Kevin Owens is still in this feud is to protect Randy Orton still from taking a pin.
Yeah, I think Randy wins the US title.
I think they're still trying to protect Logan and Randy here.
Or is it too early? Or will they keep
possibly? It's either going to be Randy winning or Logan winning and retaining, because Logan might have to keep the title till Ohio and Cleveland SummerSlam.
Yeah, it might. They might still have LA Knight.
But that's what I'm saying. They might do it for Ohio, like Logan's home in SummerSlam.
Yeah.
The fact that it's hosting SummerSlam puts a wrench into these things.
But then they can have like LA Knight versus Logan for the title.
Because you have two Ohio people. You have like the Miz and Logan, who will both be involved in that SummerSlam, I would say, in different matches.
Yeah.
But I feel like Kevin Owens is still in this feud just to take. I love Kevin, and I wish it wasn't the case, but I feel like they're still protecting Randy, that Randy can't take the pin because he's just come back and he's a legend. They don't want Randy to take a clean pin from the likes of Logan.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's what Kevin Owens is here for in this match.
Mm.
But like he's the man that's going to have to do the job for the company.
Okay,
Because
so
Kevin Owens is super established now that he's just it won't hurt him that much to take a pin from any of these three too.
Yeah. Where does KSI fit into this? He's definitely going to be involved.
Listen, he's getting stunned and RKO'd from the two of the opponents.
I reckon he's going to like outplay them.
No, I reckon he will, but he's going to get RKO'd and stunned.
Yeah.
He's definitely taking a stunner from KO and another RKO from Randy.
Did you like my theory I made up in the week what I sent you?
Oh, which one was that?
That what's going to happen is he's going to come out and then help his brother, help Logan retain. And then out of nowhere, the other Paul brother, Jake, appears and demands a match at SummerSlam. So you finally get KSI versus Jake Paul, but at SummerSlam in a wrestling match instead of.
Exactly. KSI said that RKO was one of the best moments of his life that he took. So,
yeah.
But I have a feeling at WrestleMania, KSI, if he's there, he has to take both a stunner from KO and an RKO. He needs to get stunned into an RKO.
Yeah.
And then Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar, a rematch of the Survivor Series match that weirdly ended in a squash match for Santos Escobar. I don't know how much did they completely fumbled Dragon Lee as a character.
Yeah.
Because this was a pay-per-view match, like, not a few months ago. That's now turned into a squash match.
Yeah.
Makes no sense, but that's set up for next week. Rey Mysterio challenging Santos Escobar.
Back. We haven't actually talked about Rey being back yet.
Yeah, he showed up. He showed up as they were beating up the LW Carlito. It was a street fight between Carlito and Santos Escobar, and then Rey showed up hobbling, then beat up everybody, helped Carlito win.
Do you think they're going to have a match at WrestleMania?
I think it has to go to Mania. It's weirdly they're having a match next week, but I feel like that's going to get disqualification and it's going to have to lead into Mania.
Yeah. Because then I think we've got basically a full card, haven't we?
Yeah.
I think we only need one or two more matches and we got a full card.
We just need who's facing the Kabuki Warriors, if that's...
Yeah, so that's one of the matches I meant. So you've got the tag title match for the women's tag. Then you've got... to start with, obviously, main event, two main events. So Roman versus Cody, so Seth versus Drew, the super tag match thing for night one, AJ Styles versus LA Knight, Uso versus Uso, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch,
Io versus Bayley.
Io versus Bayley.
The tag match of night one main event.
Yeah. So I think that is basically a full card, basically. It's going to be a good WrestleMania. And I can confirm I should be able to do a watch along for both nights.
That's good, hopefully, because it's going to be a fun 2 nights. So,
yeah. Me and you will be sleeping in the day.
Exactly.
For those 2 days.
Set the alarm for one.
I might be cleaning the oven the Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning, but I deal with that in the morning.
As I said, just chug energy drinks on the way. That's what I'll be doing.
So, yes.
Why do you look knackered today? WrestleMania. That's why.
So, anything? What have we got? Anything else to cover?
Oh, we have New Catch Republic qualified for the final. We have the brackets to see who gets. So it's going to be El Legado del Fantasma versus New Cat Republic for place.
Well. Yeah, you've had one other thing confirmed as well. For like the NXT version of WrestleMania.
Yeah, they're Stand and Deliver the day after on the Tuesday.
Yeah, Stand and Deliver is now confirmed for what's the name of it?
Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo Hayes, which I think is going to be
because he showed up at the end of that other match.
I honestly think that could have been a WrestleMania match. The way,
but you're gonna have like, if they're getting called up soon, which you think they would be, you're gonna have their last like big NXT match on their version of WrestleMania, just for their crowd. Arguably, the NXT title, which is Tony D'Angelo versus Ilya Dragunov, I don't think that should main event Stand and Deliver. I reckon you give Trick Will and Carmelo Hayes a title match the main event of that thing.
It's going to be such a good match.
And I think that should lead to both of them being called up to the main roster.
Yeah. Definitely.
Also, someone that's doing double duty. Eventually, Braun Breaker needs to... I don't know what he's doing with his NXT tanked title compared to main roster. He's just squashing people at main roster. Some nobodies that have just been pulled out.
On Braun Breaker, there is rumours that Lesnar might be coming back to the company.
Possibly. But I also know with Braun Breaker, he's one... They've been teasing maybe allowing Baron Corbin to come back up to main roster. He was one that was on main roster, and they kicked down to reinvent himself. The rumors that they might want to call him up because they like on NXT the tag team between Corbin and Braun Breaker, of how well that's going on NXT. Yeah. That there was rumors in the background that they want to trial that on main roster at some point.
Yeah.
Because they do have such a good chemistry together on NXT, the two of them.
Yeah, same as Hayes and Williams. Yeah, it's quite a few people I think will be called up the next year or so.
We already have Tiffany who's winning matches, so I don't wonder what her WrestleMania match is going to be. Maybe against like a Bianca or something, because Bianca needs to keep her WrestleMania streak going that she's always won.
You could have Braun Breaker versus what's the name for the continent? Gunther versus for the Continental title at Bash in Berlin.
Yeah, you can do it for any of those things. It will happen at the draft. Whatever the draft will give us a bigger picture of who's challenging for who, because the draft is going to come after Mania, you know.
Yeah, I think that would be quite a good feud, though. Them two. So
exactly, we have a lot of things that could go on, because, like I said, I expect Bianca Belair to have a match. She has an undefeated streak at WrestleManias.
I think she'll be in a triple threat.
Possibly, but she has that like streak of her. She is not lost yet in the WrestleMania, so you'd expect her because she was on the post. She's been on the poster for WrestleMania, Bianca Belair. So you expect her to at least have a match.
Yeah,
she was at the press conference too, just by herself, just talking, answering questions. You've been too involved in build up to not have a match.
Maybe she can be the ref.
Possibly. but another one that is interesting is who's going to go after the Kabuki Warriors, because there was reports today that Asuka has been pulled out from live events.
Oh, really?
For a little ankle injury.
Oh, okay.
She pulled out of pretty much all live events for the time being due to an ankle injury.
I didn't see that.
I just saw that earlier today before we went live.
So one is damage control come back, and now another one's injured.
Exactly. But yeah, that's the story. She's being assessed at the moment for potential. They don't know the full extent, if it's a bad one or a good one. She just has a little ankle injury.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything such as a good ankle injury, but
well, we'll see what happens. She's being assessed, so you might end up having to make Dakota Kai defend in her place with Kyrie.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania 40 instead. If it's a big one, you're just going to have to get someone else from Damage Control to fill in on her behalf.
Dakota Kai is definitely going to be involved in the match with.
Yeah, but she might have to pull double duty in that match and the tag titles if Asuka is.
Yeah, definitely.
Is indeed injured for longer than they think.
Yeah. Indeed.
But Kyrie is still looking as beautiful as ever in that tag team. Saw that fit on that main event, the all surrounding poor Bayley.
Yeah.
In that main event, she did get help near the end by Naomi, but she got clobbered too.
Yeah.
A 2 versus 4 isn't really going to be in your favor.
Yeah, they need more backup on.
And it's hard for Bayley to say she's going to take them out one by one when there's always just 4 of them right there.
Yeah. Indeed.
She put up a valiant fight, but there is 4 of them eventually. They're all going to jump you eventually. And they're going to need 2 other people to even this. But Naomi's gotten involved, and next week, Io Sky is actually going to fight Naomi, I think, because she goes like, I will see you next week, Naomi. Don't get involved in Damage Control business.
Yeah.
So they're going to teach Naomi a lesson, which Bayley's probably going to show up in that.
Definitely, yeah.
And the last thing we'll leave this with is we're going to bring up The Rock again for a minute. There's a lot of stories that people are complaining about how much The Rock is being let off. Because all of them have to adhere to PG, but The Rock is getting to be able to swear like 50 times.
Oh, he's in the board now. I can do what he wants.
No, but that's rubbed people apparently in the locker room the wrong way, that The Rock can do all these F-bombs.
Yeah.
And they can't.
Yeah, well, he is technically on the board now, so he can do what he wants.
And the fact that The Rock is taking up 20 minutes of a 2-hour show, basically.
Yeah.
I feel like The Rock should show up on Monday Night Raws to at least take a bit of the 3 hours always drags, so you can have a bit of the time of the 3 hours.
Yeah.
He's taken away from a lot of the matches on SmackDown because it's only a 2-hour show. They have Rock and Roman sit there for like 20 minutes walking to the ring. Then another 20 talking.
Yeah.
Speaking of Roman, he's back next week.
He's turning up for work once.
He's having a face-to-face with Cody Rhodes next week. Finally, we might actually just get Cody Rhodes versus the person he's actually fighting on that too.
Yeah.
Having a conversation. Because all of this, we built up the tag match way too much, and we've not built up the actual main event on night 2 between Cody and Roman.
Yep.
That we very much need to have them two just talk to each other again. Because we know that this Cody is a little bit more, I'm done with being nice, because where we do with Paul Heyman, no, you may not come in the ring, I'm done with being nice to you.
Yeah.
So I want to see that Cody talking to Roman.
Could there be another person on Cody's side? If the rumors of Brock coming back, they had their little hug out at SummerSlam. It was really sweet.
And Brock,
really
Brock always doesn't like. Brock has been banned from ever challenging Roman for the title.
Yeah.
Bit like Cody might be if he loses this one.
Yeah. So could there be a little Brock Lesnar appearance?
There's also the MJF rumors again. Because there was a bunch of pictures from people that are friends with MJF and Cody posting an old picture when they were tag partners in AEW doing the fusion thing, saying with the caption, "Will they see each other again?" ? We started the whole debate of perhaps the final Avenger out of nowhere is MJF.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll never know until WrestleMania, but that's the rumor that sparked.
Yeah, he's not been on for a while, MJF, has he?
No, he had that injury to his shoulder.
No, you never know.
But like I said, it was Diamond Dallas's page that tweeted out, "Will they meet again?" Question mark with a diamond and an explosion next to it, which caused many people to bring back up as like MJF to WWE confirmed? Question mark. I could honestly, if he does, I could see him also betraying Cody like after Cody wins. You know, like buddy.
Yeah. I can't wait for Cody to finish the story, though. I'm sure you've seen my social media.
You've been going back and forth on a lot of like Roman propaganda pages.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, the WWE mentioned the whole thing that I was very. Remember, I've been messaging you a very confused I am with all the trend with the sports club acknowledging Roman Reigns. All of a sudden, WWE did bring that out. Talked about it.
Yeah, did you see Man United did it?
Yes, that's what they posted. That was on SmackDown. Was United's video.
I don't understand why Martinez is in it.
They also showed my rugby team, Leinster rugby team. Lies aboard. But they can all acknowledge him all they want, but
I have to finish the story.
Yeah, I acknowledge Martinez, but I don't acknowledge the tribal chief.
Actually, I was like, weird. It's a weird trend it was where every sports team just goes like starts acknowledging the tribal chief.
Yeah.
Listen, I played 2K24. I beat Roman Reigns the first day I could.
Nice. I think a lot of people are doing that.
Soon, guys. We're gonna actually play the Undisputed mode at some point and actually take the title from Roman.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take over Judgment Day 2 and cash in that briefcase for Damien. Gonna show him how it's done.
Yeah.
It's how you properly cash in a briefcase, Damien.
Yeah, I've given up on him catching that in. Unless he catches it in at WrestleMania versus Drew, I don't think it will ever be his.
Listen, he said I like the way he goes like people will be like on my side when I finally cash it. Remember, he's like people will eat their words when I actually cash it in. That's if you can figure it out, mate. I've been waiting for you to cash in for like you've had so many failed cash-ins where you end up beating each other up with your own briefcase.
Yeah.
And at one point, Sammy just nicked it or ran away with it.
That was so funny.
But that storyline just disappeared because Sammy was supposed to be the anti-Judgment Day. He just forgot that. By the way, we just forgot that storyline of him being anti-Judgment Day.
Yeah.
I don't know. Logan Paul wants to. Another story is Logan Paul wants to fight LeBron James at SummerSlam.
Why not?
Not sure he's going to get that one for in his cards, but he said it. And based on ratings, 1.1 more million people played as Cody Rhodes in 2K24.
Yeah, so
compared to Roman Reigns. As someone said in the comments here, it's because you can only play as Roman once every 4 months in that game.
I have some breaking news. I have just purchased 2K24.
Wow, nice. I also like how funny it is that the whole plot of the storyline, Johnno, of like the Undisputed storyline, is that Roman Reigns fucks off. That's literally the plot is Roman Reigns fucks off for like months, for years. I was like, wow, this is very realistic. Roman Reigns doesn't want to show up to work.
Anyway,
I think that's all we had. All we had today. A lot of matches coming up. I said it's going to be a very good card.
yeah, I think it's going to be a really good card. Well, it's the biggest WrestleMania ever, as they keep saying. So,
I think they're finally setting it up to. It's very good that they went from all their plans crumbling. You know, it's with.
I think something what we're not expecting is going to happen.
Punk's being injured and stuff that ruined all their plans. They've really come out of that in better light.
Where they're saying it's the biggest WrestleMania ever, WrestleMania 40th anniversary, you know, blah 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 blah. I think there's something we don't know in the pipeline because I think a lot of people have called most of the card, which they think is going to happen.
Yeah,
I think there's going to be some big surprise in there somewhere.
There's going to be some twist like on the night too.
Yeah, something's coming because obviously it's on the anniversary, so they're going to do something big, I think.
Also, we're in danger of 2 years in a row of Solo being snubbed for a match at WrestleMania.
We can't win a match on a live event, so are we going to give him an event?
At least give him a nice moment to lose on the grand stage, you know? At least he got the grand stage match.
Yeah.
Although he did lose once again to LA Knight on the live.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing with him. He's meant
Keep
to be
losing to LA Knight.
line, but he keeps losing to everyone.
He's getting the Tozawa treatment. Tozawa has lost like every live match against Omos. He just keeps facing Omos on live shows, and Omos keeps squashing Tozawa, and that's what Solo's getting with LA Knight.
It's the same with the guy with Seth, who was feuding with Cody and Sammy. What's his name? He's keep losing every match.
Oh, you talking JD McDonough?
No, not JD McDonough.
No.
I can't remember him in now. But anyway,
that's it's been a very interesting week.
Yeah, definitely.
WWE wise, and I feel like we're going to get more and more. And Johnno's going to be more and more tweeting at the Roman accounts.
Yeah, if you guys want to help me,
that really want Seth Rollins to betray Cody and cost him. That's what they're really begging.
Yeah. The Rock crybabies.
The Roman kiss artists is what they're.
Yeah. Anyway, it's nice speaking to you guys, and we will speak to you next week.
We are the real head of the table.